power, wonder-working power in the blood of the Lamb. There is power, power, wonder-working power in the precious blood of the Lamb. Would service for Jesus our King. There's power in the power in the blood. You live to see His praises to sing. There's power in the blood. There is power in the blood of the Lamb. There is power in the precious blood of the Lamb. Sing it again. Power, working power in the blood of the Lamb. There is power, working power in the precious blood of the Lamb. News to bring is why I sing on my joy. You I'll share. I plan to take a trip, good old ship, and go sailing through the air. Oh, I'm going to take a trip in the good old ship, going beyond the sky. Shout, sing a heaven's ring while I'm bidding this world goodbye. I can hardly wait. I'm not be late, for I'll spend my time in there. And when my ship comes in, I'll leave this world and go sailing through the air. Oh, take a gospel, I'm going beyond the sky. I'm gonna sing unto heaven while I'm bidding this world goodbye. If you're ashamed of me, I have no cause to be with. I am there to my I surely be through the air. Oh, I'm a tree in a good old bullshit. I'm going far beyond the sky. I'm shouting, sing heaven, sing wide in the world. And I can't only wait. I know I'm late. And I'll leave, say to the oh, the till it is worth. Oh, I'm gonna take a trip in the good old gospel ship. I'm going far beyond the sky. Heaven, I'm being the world. Shame you must be with them. Too much fire, baby, let one say through the air. Oh, I'm gonna take it, oh God, I'm from the sky. I'm gonna sing until while I'm this world by one more time. I'm gonna take the gospel. Shouting till the heading, waiting goodbye. And give the Lord tonight. Amazing how he that day like I was lost, but now I'm found. Was I, but I 'twas grace all my heart to feel and be really how grace did that great I first see and oh, I've been set free and your and blood mercy grace and love amazing grace the Lord has promised good to me. His word my hope secure. He will shield my worship as life pure. My dark gone, I'm ready, and God has run me like you see an love amazing, and my chains are gone. I've been free. God has ran me blood mercy and love amazing grace the promise here my hope cure heal my for me as long as I am yours. Chains go, I've been ready, and God has some and make us your mercy unending love. Everybody singing it. My chains are gone. I've been free. On my handsome of blood. You see rays and love. The earth for tonight, but all he will be forever mine. He is mine. Lord, you are forever mine. Amen. Tonight.
No. Used to what you be is all by that heard 3 and what you is covered. So sometimes it used to be don't meditate wrong. When I do, when it just me. I used to before. But not like I am. It's great. It's only, and I don't trying to tell you, you know, a good, but not all brought of what this very street, this very hard hang out. Look, it's me a church reach some years about it. Well, I'm there to meet. Ford said you're going on fourth. That's a yes, man. Could have. God, not here. I'm not going. I took a while ago. Have a good devil is. Come on out. Come on. Didn't he? But that's our here. Brother Ross. They were tonight. And I know you something. Tonight. Let me tell you something. How many you're down and pray and tonight we pray that become serving God. Preached on in and over there today. To me, I was. It does. They heard. They heard. It doesn't matter. Here tonight. To comfort. The word. Saturday. Day out. Word out. Then later, Brother Bullets group. And we're out. Let's send an offer every really impressed. That would be. But the really God. Up to God. We want to step further. That ye it that had been everyone night. Others, they'll come back. That they night and hear your word. Come and blessed of our being. Head of God.
Phones now. She could get you on a sing. All right, young children church can be. You can't go. That's my son. After him too. All right, get a hand as they head back. Sure he's head back. All right. All right. Have a good time there tonight. In God's house. Get Brother Allen. Come on. Tonight, brother. Let me get you some. Do you want the? Yeah, you do want it.
Um, you know, if I can get through, I thank God for His mercy up on. This thing is when He saved, you know, and after He, there had been so many times He's got me out of myself in, and when nobody know, so within up here, Jesus, you know, it's like He wouldn't tell me He didn't know. Just remember it, and His faith and His God, and as He was talking about it, we're living in a curse, but that don't mean that we're in a curse. You know, we're children, and He says, you know, emphysema doesn't have where God had that on His mind. You know, emphysema no part in the kingdom, wanted that for the Ghost to over me and stepped down me and started breathing. Where I had it was good, in a long time, and I praised for it. But now I'm gonna have to rest my body with it. My that emphysema, and I can breathe now and pushing the rest of my body touch it. But I have to take new breaks. God, what? Just so God to heaven couldn't find one willing to be the supreme sacrifice that needed to buy eternal for you. Had not been played, called out Calvary, and had not been so rugged cross, did not been from Jesus, then forever my soul would be. I was willing to do that bit, although Father it had me, and so glad he didn't call his angels from my hand, pull the veil that torn me. Had been for a place all my Calvary, and had not been so again, that it not been called Jesus, then ever so loud. I'll cherish your cross till he's asked. I will cling to the rugged cross and exchange its name a crown. Oh, Lord, a big hand. He is worthy of that.
Everybody got one Tommy come. Come on, work on Jesus.
I just want to say, ever since Sunday night, I've just felt the presence of God more than I have in a while. I just felt the presence. Thinking about, I don't know about everybody else, but I want to be with God over me. God, I like praise God, but it also. He is just the church. But can't even walk without you in your hand. No need more than holding my hand. The done too hard, the rally to watch on my knees. I learn to stand, but I can't even walk. Hold my hand. I thought I could do a lot more. All alone, I could only get more. In my hand too high to hold to stand, but I can't even talk when you hold my hand. All and all, and I get in trouble on this team. And if I do just that, but even without in my hand, ain't even hold in my hand. The higher I come, ain't even to hold my hand. I can't even walk without holding my hand. Hallelujah.
Say that you have failed when you walk without hope. For the word, right? Word tonight. Said we've got and what we're going to do of them, and it's easy first, and brother, come on up, brother, here and hang the sound. Some of the hand.
Our heads. We honor you up. Have your way. That you touch. We touch. house available. Healing tonight, Lord. We ask you to in your name we pray. Amen. Bible tonight, chapter 4, possibly, and we'll get started. Tag team title. The Lord very important. Very important that we follow. You know, the altar to receive Savior, follow Him. So it's Him. About in the United Evangelist, we talked about all the and how to save America. Yeah, so many if they can just his heart to it. It's deceptive how they can just say, and that's fine. He married. As I believe in that we can just he comes and everything's all right. And to know it's going we know how close we follow Him. Know how much we follow close and what about what's going on the internet. It started following in between, hold you back, trying to keep in its other at for us that we follow very close. Nobody can get anything. We're in it for then we can see a lot to us that we can't don't know what it's fixing to do. Stay with them. You stay. We need to be learning very carefully so that we know Him, so we can imitate Him. We can be just like Him. So we need to follow on. Thing tonight. I mean nothing. In. And so at the last minute, what comes to me, I'm 14, really, because the Lord to us and how and heart that journey. And they're going to, you know, keep you safe, and we have to own those things. That's to say, just saying, I can ask you, and He saves me, everything's okay. He said, you have. He says, you have Him, you have to go at Him, and you have to have. He
said it's your faith in him. It's not just saying, Lord, come into my heart and save me and forgive me of my sins, but it's asking him and who he is. That we we believe he's not gonna all the way. We find that he said, you right up front. Ask him in as Lord, give us of our and begin to. He says, "Heart be true, but believe him." And we have the Son of the living God. He is the Son of God. He said, "Not your heart be troubled. You believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, would have told you, I got a prayer place for you." See, we're following him, and we're going to lead us to. He's going to lead us to the heavenly. He's going to lead us to His Father's house. See, we're going to follow him to his house. My Father's mansion. Believe also in me. It's believing in God, but also in our hearts. It's the Father's house. There are many. If it were not, I would have told you, go to prepare for you. And if I go and prepare a place, I will come again and receive it. And where I am, there you also. You know, in the way you know, Tom said unto him, Lord, we know not how go, how we know the way. See, Thomas was just a little too far off. He wasn't following close enough to know Jesus, the Son of God, that he was who he said he was. And so Thomas, he said, how can where you go, Lord? Jesus said to him, this is my life. He says, let not you be troubled. If you believe in God, believe also in me. But then he says, Jesus said unto him, I am the way, truth, and life. So they're finding out that he's the Son of God, and not finding out God by finding out that he is the way. And he is truth, and if he is the way, we follow him. We're going to get to his Father's house. And his Father's house, we're going to find out there's many mansions in his house. It says, no one cometh to the Father but me. It says, if it had known me, you should have known my Father also. From hence you know him, seen him, said unto the Father, and it defies us. Here's Philip, find us just following just a little bit far off. Here's Philip. Philip not following close enough. They don't know enough. If they knew it, they knew that Jesus and the Father are one, and that he is the Son of God. So Philip's turned too far off. Jesus to him, have been so long time with you, and yet thou not known Philip. He that has seen the Father, and how sayest thou, knowest the Father? Sayest thou that I am in the Father? The Father is in me. The words that I speak unto you, I speak not myself, but of the Father that dwelleth in me. He doeth the work. It says, believe me that I am the Father, and the Father in me, or else believe me for the very work's sake. Verily, verily, I say unto you, believeth on me, the work I do shall also, and greater than these shall do? Because of the Father. We have to do Jesus is. We follow him to understand he's the Son of God. He will go to his Father for his children. I say to you, believe on me, the work that I do shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go to the Father. I say, he that believes me, that I do, shall he do also. So I have to ask myself, how close am I following? Am I following close enough? No, in my heart, and I believe in my heart, Lord, and my Savior. The one who came in my heart, the one that came by his blood, is going to go to the Father. Because it's here that I go forward in his name, and the works are going to be done through me. But not these works, it says, but greater works these shall you do. That by following him, there's different levels. Follow here, may be on that third level. We got to follow him. We got to follow him in order to know Lord. We got to follow the Lord to know. We've got to understand that every word forth out of the pulpit, he calls us to follow him. Us to follow. Verse 30 says, and whatsoever ye shall in my name, will I do, that the Father may glorify the Son. If you shall in my name, I will do it, if you may keep my commandment. He says all that. And then he says, if you love me, keep my commandments. So it makes me wonder how closely we in America are following the commandments of God. It makes me wonder how much we love the Lord. And he said, if you love me, commandment. If you ask anything in my name, do it. Jesus, so it a little bit of room in between us and the Lord. We're not following enough. See, I believe that's why there's so much doubt and fear in the body of Christ today in the United States of America. We're not following. We were following close. We say, there he goes. To the Father. He's headed on through because he's a prayer. Too great. If you shall ask anything in name, I will. But we always understand we're walking and we're following. There's always conditions. And I believe this is the one condition concerning it. He says, if you love me, keep my commandments. If so, I have to ask the question, how our love make it follow? Faith walk. Faith walk is when we get his word out and we apply it. We apply it, we read it, we read it. My Lord said it. I say it, you've probably heard me say it before, but I'll say it again. We go to John chapter 14 and we say, if you shall ask anything in my name, I will do it. We say, Lord, here I am again. Here I am again. I believe that you're the Son of God. I believe that you are who you say you are. I believe that you are the truth life. I believe you're the Son of my Lord. You're my Son, God. I'm asking right now in faith. I'm active in you. But you are the thing that I have any hope. And we say, God, Lord, here's your word. And I'm standing on it. Lord, I'm standing on it. I'm pursuing you. I'm following you. I'm following you just as close as I can follow, Lord. That came by, would like to run me off the road. He drove inside a little bit, hindered me. Up for just a little bit, but I've been running, Lord. I've been running. Here I am. I'm back behind you again. I'm following you, Lord. I'm following you, Lord. I'm following you. Here I am. I'm on your heels, Lord. Which way you going? If you're going this way, I'm going this way, Lord. If you're going this way, I'm going this way, Lord. Oh, yes, 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 yes. See, the Word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, but say, I don't want it to be too hard. God don't want it to be too hard. God wants us to simplify it. If you love me, keep my commandments. Sometimes we feel like he's a taskmaster. And I just can't get this thing right. I can't get it right. Do it again, like he's beating us down. He's beating us down. Lord, your word's too hard. I just can't follow you, Lord. I just can't stay up. I'm tired and I'm weary and I just can't get there. And we feel like it's so hard sometimes. But see, that's not what it's about. What it's about, he says, if you love me. See, it's that love relationship. You're pursuing him. You're following him just as fast as you can go. See, we need to understand that we can't make it hard. It can't be hard. It's got to be a love relationship. We got to love him like he loves us. And say, okay, Lord, I'm not real sure about how you want me to go over here, exactly how you mean it, how you need me to go. But, Lord, I want to follow you, so teach me, Lord, so I can go. See, we got to simplify it. We can't beat ourselves down. He's not beating us down. And we can't. We have to understand. See, we have to joy in our salvation. And so, it's important for us that we don't follow him too far back. We got to understand that he's standing there with open arms for us, saying, hey, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. And see, all we got to do is say, okay, Lord, I'm coming, Lord. I'm not real sure about anything, but I'm following you. I'm not sure how to go. You're the way, Lord. I don't know the way. I'm not real sure of myself. I'm not real sure which way I'm going, Lord, but I'm going to follow you. And wherever you go, I'm going to go, Lord. And if you get in any trouble, I know that you're going to call for your Father, Lord. Right before I close, he says, if let not your hearts be troubled. Don't let your hearts be troubled. Be reassured that I'm the Messiah. I'm the anointed one. I'm the one that's going to lead you and guide you into all truth. He said, I'm the one. So don't let your heart be troubled. He said, I am the way. I am the truth. And I am the life. And he said, look here. He said, I'm not going to leave you comfortless. He said, I'm going to go into the Father. He says, I'm going to go to the Father. And I'm going to pray the Father. He says, in my Father's house is many mansions. He said, but there's a lot of other things in my Father's house other than mansions. He says, I'm going to pray my Father, and He's going to send you another comforter, and He's going to come, and He's going to abide with you and within you. He's going to lead you and guide you into all truth. He says, if you have any problems, follow me. He said, just call upon the comforter. He'll lead you and guide you into all truth. And when you're calling upon Him, and you're letting the comfort lead you and guide you into all truth, you'll be right on His heels. You'll be right on His heels. You'll be following Him, and not only will you be following Him, but you'll be learning all about Him, and you'll know Him. Thank you.
Amen. That's a good word, brother. We're lost if we're not following Him, aren't we? What's next? What's next? We got to follow Him, that's for sure, but what's next? I'm going to read John 5, 1 through 18, if you want to follow along with me. John 5. After this, there was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there is at Jerusalem by the sheep market a pool, which is called the Hebrew tongue Bethesda, having 5 porches. In these lay a great multitude of impotent folk, of blind, halt, withered, waiting for the moving of the water. For an angel went down at a certain season into the pool and troubled the water. Whosoever then first, after the troubling of the water, stepped in was made whole of whatsoever disease he had. And a certain man was there which had an infirmity 38 years. That's how old I am, 38, just to let y'all know. When Jesus saw him lie and knew that he had been now a long time in that case, he saith unto him, Wilt thou be made whole? The impotent man answered him, Sir, I have no man when the water is troubled to put me into the pool. But while I am coming, another steppeth down before me. Jesus said unto him, Rise, take up thy bed and walk. And immediately the man was made whole, and took up his bed and walked. And on the same day was the Sabbath. The Jews therefore said unto him that was cured, It is the Sabbath day. It is not lawful for thee to carry thy bed. And he answered them, He that made me whole, the same said to me, Take up thy bed and walk. Then asked they him, What man is that which said unto thee, Take up thy bed and walk? And he that was healed wist not who it was, for Jesus had conveyed himself away, a multitude being in that place. Afterward Jesus findeth him in the temple, and said unto him, Behold, thou art made whole. Sin no more, lest a worse thing come unto thee. The man departed and told the Jews that it was Jesus which had made him whole. And therefore did the Jews persecute Jesus and sought to slay him, because he had done these things on the Sabbath day. But Jesus answered them, My Father worketh hitherto, and I work. Therefore the Jews sought the more to kill him, because he not only had broken the Sabbath, but said also that God was his Father, making him equal with God. What's next? Why did Jesus pick the one lame man at the pool of Bethesda to heal? There at the pool it said there was many halt, maimed, sick, full of disease laying at the pool. But why did Jesus pick that one man? Why did Jesus pick him? There was many of them there sick. And as I was thinking on this, why did Jesus pick that one? The answer I come up with is, I don't know. I don't know why he picks the one he picks. I don't know why he picked that one. Why did he pick Brother James, the pastor of this church? I don't know. Why did he pick Abraham? Why did he pick Moses? I don't know. Why does he pick the ones out of the crowd that he picks? I don't know. All I know is for the same reason he picks you. So what's next? When you think of a pool, you think of a nice, cool oasis, a place to hang out and chill and get you an iced tea and sit by the pool and catch rays. Well, with us for kids, it's a place to get splashed in the face, hear hollering, crying, screaming. But you know what I'm saying. It's a nice, cool place to go. But this pool was right outside the sheep gate. So I'm thinking that this isn't a nice place that you would really want to go. I mean, you think about right outside the sheep gate. Are you picturing the same pool I'm picturing? Probably not a nice place. And plus it had all these sick people laying around it. But you see, the thing that really gets me is the guy that was laying there that was sick and needing healing, and the other people that was there, they had no choice but to be there, because that's where the troubling of the water was going to take place, and that's where they were trying to get their healing. But what grabbed me was Jesus could be anywhere he wanted to be. He could have went anywhere he wanted to go. He was free to roam as he pleased, but he chose that place to go. He chose that nasty pool where all these sick people was, and that's where he chose to go. Why did he choose that place? I don't know. What's next? He always goes to the places that most people wouldn't dare to go. Why does he go to the places where the sick people are? Because Luke 5:31 says, "And Jesus answering said unto them, They that are whole need not a physician, but they that are sick." You see, the religious folk kicked all these sick people out. They weren't allowed to be around other people. They had to go out and get out of the town because they weren't allowed to be around them back then in this time. So that when the religious folk kicked them out, the Pharisees kicked them out, Jesus went to where they got kicked to. That's what Jesus does. When we get kicked out of the in crowd, Jesus comes to where we're at. When I first got saved, I told the best man at my wedding that I'd got saved, and I didn't talk to him again for probably 8 years maybe. And then I seen him on Facebook one day, and we said, "Hey, how you doing?" And that was about it. But you see, when you come to Jesus and you change the crowds that you're hanging with, Jesus comes with you. You see, these people got kicked out from where all the people hung out, but that's where Jesus went to. You see, when you feel like you're alone and you're in a place by yourself, you're not, because Jesus is with you. As long as you're following him, like Brother Ducey said, Jesus is there with you. In Mark 12:4, it tells about the woman that offers up the 2 mites. You see, back then they had 2 places. They had a place where the poor put in. They had a place where the rich put in. When Jesus telling you how much the poor people was putting in, that tells me he was on the poor people's side. He wasn't over there hanging out with the rich people. Jesus goes to the places most people wouldn't dare go. Jesus hangs out with the sick, hurt, poor, nasty, outcast leftovers. That's who Jesus hangs out with. Why did he pick that one man? I don't know. The same reason he picked me on May 19, 2006. I was a lame man. I could walk but had no direction. I was a blind man. I could see but I didn't know where I was going. I was a dumb man. I could speak but was saying all the wrong things. I didn't need troubled waters. I was making enough trouble myself. But one day I got close enough to the pool that Jesus just happened to be passing by, and I reached out with a cry and told him, "I have no man to place me in the waters." You know what he told me? "Get up, take your bed, and walk. Don't lay there in your pity party. Don't lay there in your pain, and stop laying there in your addiction and affliction. Get up and walk. Get up and take your bed. Stop laying on your bed of problems and pick them up and do something about it. What's next? Stop laying there on your bed of lack of self-worth. Pick it up and do something about it. Stop laying there on your bed of jealousy and pick it up and do something about it." We at times, we just get pictured in our mind what other people think about us. We picture in our mind that people think less of us than they do other people, maybe because our clothes, maybe because the vehicle we drive, maybe because of where we work, maybe, the people we hang out with. We get it in our mind that people think less of us than other people do. But we need to get out of that state of mind. We need to get up and walk. We need to quit laying around and all that. "Oh, I'm not worthy. I'm worthless. I'm not worth as much as somebody else." This world puts a dollar sign on everything. This world puts a dollar sign on people. This world puts a dollar sign on anything and everything. Materialism is what this world's based upon. But Jesus don't look at that. You know, back when he picked Samuel was sent to pick David, it says God don't look upon the man; He looks upon the heart. Even though to people we may be not worth as much as they think we're worth, but to God we're worth everything. To God we're worth His very own Son. To God we were worth for Him to place Jesus on that cross and to die for each and every one of us, die for our sins. So why did He pick that man? I don't know. Why did He pick me? What's next? It says the man had been laying there 38 years, the one that had been the longest. It said when Jesus came up, it seemed that he had been laying there for a long time. For 38 years he had laid there. The one that seemed to be in the worst shape, the one that seemed to be the hardest to fix, that's the one he picks. The one that seems to be in the worst shape. The one that seems, you could be sitting, one of y'all sitting in here tonight thinking, oh, I've got it going so bad for me right now. Everything's coming against me, my finances, my family, my kids, my child isn't in church right now serving the Lord. My job's going south. I'm the worst one in here right now. You got something to look up for because you're the one Jesus is looking for. He's the one. He's the one. You're the one He's wanting to touch tonight. You're the one that He's wanting to do something for tonight. What's next? What are you going to allow Jesus to do next? Jesus asked the man, how long have you been laying here? Now that's kind of a funny question to me for him to ask this man, how long you been laying here? Because you know Jesus doesn't know how long that man been laying there. He knew that the woman at the well done had 5 husbands and the one she was with wasn't her own right then. Jesus knew that this man, how long he's been laying. Why did he ask him that? Jesus knew that he could feed 5,000 people with a little boy's lunch. I mean, it's Jesus we're talking about. But he asked the man, how long you been laying here? Why did he ask him that? He wanted the guy to realize how long he'd been laying there. Jesus knew how long he'd been laying there, but he wanted the guy to realize how long he'd been laying there. How long have you been laying in your self-pity? How long have you been laying in your mully grubs, as it's called by Brother Griffin? How long have you been laying around in your lack of self-worth or your depression or your addiction or your afflictions or things that are coming against you that you're allowing to keep you from serving God to the fullest? How long have you been laying around in it? Jesus knows how long you've been laying in it. Do you realize how long you've been laying in it? How long you been laying in your condition? How long you been bound by addiction, condemnation, doubt, guilt, hate in your heart? Is there somebody that wronged you and you're allowing that to keep you from serving God to your fullest? Are you holding hate and anger in your heart against a certain person? You know, things happen to us in our childhood as we're growing up that we will let, even though I'm 38 years old, there's things that happened to me when I was 10 years old that if I let that harbor in my heart, I could hold hate against people. But I don't allow that to hurt. I don't allow that to hold me back because I know that God has something greater. But all too often people do that. For instance, my brother, he hadn't, his dad and my mom split up when he was 2 years old, and he'd never seen his dad since. And a lot of times when we were growing up, when he would get in trouble or something would happen to him, he would say, well, my dad left me, and this, my dad, your dad, my dad now is the only dad that my brother knew, and he accepts him as that, but he would always say, my dad left me. That hurt him so bad that even till this day, it still eats at him and bothers him. What somebody else does to you, you can't let that keep you from God healing you and lifting you up. Whatever happened to this guy that was laying at this pool for 38 years, whatever happened to him to get him there, whatever sickness was on him, whatever disease was on him, he could have allowed that to let him just stay laying there. Even when Jesus said, get up, rise and walk, he could have said, no, I'm sick, I'm lame, I can't get up and walk. I'm just going to lay here on my bed where I've been for 38 years, where I'm comfortable. I'm just going to lay here in this mess. I don't want to get up and I don't want to take up my bed and walk. I'm just going to lay here in this. It was his choice whether to choose, whether to follow Jesus or whether to lay there. We've got to choose to follow Jesus. What's next? This guy had to be tired of hanging out at this pool with all these years. How many how many of you are tired of the place that you're in? What's next? You see that guy? He was hanging out with a bunch of people that were sick. He was hanging out with people that was dragging him down spiritually. He was hanging out with people for years that were in the same situation he was in, and he couldn't get out of that situation until he chose Jesus. He accepted Jesus when Jesus came by. What's next? You know, a lot of times you hear, I've heard this message preached, I've heard that this man was full of excuses, which he had a few excuses. Oh, I can't get to the water. I have no man to put me in the water. But you got to think about it. He was sick and he couldn't move. And it says in verse 7, it said, "The impotent man answered him, Sir, I have no man when the water is troubled to put me into the pool. But while I am coming, another steppeth down before me." So you see, I've heard it preached a lot of times that he had excuses because he said, I have no man to put me in the water. That's an excuse. But then at the same time, when you read verse 7, it says, "But while I am coming, another steppeth down before." That tells me that he was trying. The man was trying. He said, while I am coming, somebody, you see, a blind person may not be able to see, but they could move a lot faster than the lame man. As he's crawling to the water trying his best, it said he was impotent, so I don't know what he could move, what he couldn't move. He might have could only move a centimeter at a time. He could have been laying right at the edge when the water started troubling, and as he was coming, a blind man jumped over him into the water. It said, "As I am coming." So this man, he didn't have a bunch of excuses because he was trying. You know, see, a lot of times we look at our downfalls and our shortcomings and the things that are coming against us more than we look at the fact that, God, I'm trying. I'm trying, God. As long as you're trying, you just got to look at what's next, God. What do you have for me next, God? And you got to keep trying and you got to keep pressing. It said this guy for 38 years was lame. But while I am coming. So for 38 years, he was trying to get to the water. He didn't give up. He was still by the pool. If he would have gave up on the 37th year, he wouldn't have been by the pool. He'd have said, "Take me home. I'm done with this. I'm not going to try to get in that troubled water no more." But no, he wanted to be healed. That's what we got to have. When there's things that's coming against us, things that's coming against our mind, things that's coming against our spirit, things that are trying to attack our heart, things that are trying to attack us from all sides, we've got to keep trying. We've got to keep pressing on. We've got to keep, as I'm coming, another step's down before me. That's all right, because you know what? Right behind that guy, there's me still coming, because I'm going to keep coming. And if it takes somebody else stepping in front of me again, that's okay, because I'm going to be behind that one, because I'm going to keep coming. Somebody might get in the pool before me every time, but you know what? It said the angel comes at a different season every time and troubles the water. And it makes it, each season, there's a different season for different times. So it might not have been my season yet. It might have been the guy that got in front. He didn't get in front of me. That's where he was supposed to be. I'm looking at it like, well, I got passed up again. No, it wasn't your season. You didn't get passed up. You're right where you're supposed to be. So the problem is a lot of people will quit trying. We got to keep trying, even if it may not be your season right now. Just keep trying. Keep pressing forward, even if they keep coming over you. You know what? I didn't get in at this season. Next season's my season. I'm going to keep trying. What's next? What's God got in store for me? Now I'm totally lost because none of that was in my notes. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, I love it when that happens. Oh. Whew, Lord. And immediately the man was made whole and took up his bed and walked. On the same day was the Sabbath. Now, why did Jesus have this man that was sick, been laying on this old nasty mat for 38 years, tell him to get up and take that mat with him? Was he teaching him housekeeping etiquette? I don't think so. Was he, he did, don't leave your trash behind, son. Take that with you. Carry it over here to the dumpster. No, that's not what he was doing. You see, he was on the Sabbath. So by this guy picking up that mat and carrying it with him, that meant that he was carrying more than the law allowed on the Sabbath for him to carry. There was a certain amount that you were allowed to pick up. There was a certain when it talks about a Sabbath day's travel, there was a certain distance between your tent and the tabernacle, and the furthest tent out in the camp was a Sabbath day travel because you weren't allowed to walk over that many steps. There were certain things you weren't allowed to do, so he wasn't allowed to pick up his bed on that day. So when Jesus had him pick up his bed that day, it was so the religious folk would see him and notice him. They didn't say, hey man, you've been laying there for 38 years and you were sick. I'm glad that you're healed. It's good to see you up walking around. No, they said, why are you carrying your bed on the Sabbath? Why are you doing that? You know you ain't supposed to be carrying your bed on the Sabbath. Put that down. So, but by them noticing it, it led to, well, I was just healed by this guy, and he told me to pick it up. Well, who healed you? He didn't even know that it was Jesus that healed him until later on. And then, out of all of it, what happens? Jesus gets the glory for it. No matter what you go through, no matter who comes against you, no matter who gets mad at you, no matter who shouts at you, no matter who tells you, oh, you're not supposed to be doing this, you're not supposed to be doing that, Jesus is getting the glory for it as long as you're following him and you're doing what he says for you to do. Jesus told me to do it as long as it really is him. Now, don't just be like, Jesus told me to do it. I stole this car because Jesus told me to do it. No, that's not what I'm saying. But he was breaking the Jewish law by carrying his bed over the weight limit. And by that, it caught their attention. It caught their eye. And the reason that was for is because the whole plan was stacked up. It said, therefore, in verse 18, therefore the Jews sought the more to kill him because he not only had broken the Sabbath, but said also that God was his Father, making himself equal with God. So, for this man to do all of that, it led up to part of Jesus' crucifixion. It was all a part of God's plan the whole time. That man had to lay there for 38 years in the same spot around that pool with all them sick people to be a part of God's plan. A lot of times we think, well, I've been sitting here in these pews for 10 years. God's not using me. Year 11 might be part of God's plan. Year 12 might be part of God's plan. Year 38 might be part of God's plan. It might take 38 years for Jesus to tell you to get up, take your bed, and be part of my plan. But you know what? He kept trying. He was there. He never gave up. He never went home. He never quit coming to church. He was there when Jesus came by. You know, if we quit coming to church, if we just say, forget it, I'm done, I'm not trying no more, God's not going to use me, I'm just going to stay at home, we're not going to be there when Jesus says, hey, get up, take your bed. What will I have? What will you have me to do for you? That's what he asked the man, you know. What do you need me to do for you? I don't have anybody put me in the water. Can you put me in the water? No, but I can make you whole. Get up and walk. I'm not going to put you in the water. Just get up. But if he would have went home, he wouldn't have been there. What's next? What's next? Right now it's the new year, so the big thing is, you know, people have New Year's resolutions and plans for the year. You know, I'm not going to eat no more of this, or I'm going to lose 20 pounds, or I'm going to exercise. I don't ever set none of that stuff because I know better. I ain't going to lie to myself. I'm going to just keep growing my little belly. But but what's next? What do you have planned? The kind of resolutions we really need to be making is one of my prayers that I pray to God. You don't have to pray it, but I pray for. I've never been the reading type. I've never been. Back when I was in school, my idea of doing homework was during commercials. I don't like reading. I never have. I shouldn't tell this, but I'm going to. I'm doing the Bible read through in a year, and I'm still in 2014. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to finish. I'm in Ezekiel right now. I really shouldn't tell this, but I'm in Ezekiel, but I'm almost done reading it all the way through. I'm in December of 2014 right now. Hey, you know, so if I can finish it, I still can say, hey, I read the Bible all the way through. It wasn't the same year I started, but You know, I could quit right now and say I never done it. The last 3 times I started it, I got around May, June, fishing. I was done. And I quit. But this time I was like, I don't care how long it's going to take me. I'm going to read it all the way through. I don't care how long it takes me. I'm going to get in this pool and I'm going to get healed. I don't know how long it takes me, but I'm going to get in the position that God can use me and allow Him to do what He wants to do through me. That's all I got. What's next? What's next? Joel, what's next?
Amen. Does anybody need prayer for anything tonight? We're going to, if you want to come on up and have a time of prayer, these men will pray with you. And the other ministers will get around you and pray with you as well. Those of us that are here, come on up. If you need anything special tonight, if you need anything special from the Lord. Here you go, brother. Play something and I'll sing. Let's do I Have Decided to Follow Jesus. Amen. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back. No turning back. The cross before me, the world behind me. The cross before me, the world behind me. The cross before me, the world behind me. No turning back. No turning back. Though none go with me, still I will follow. Though none go with me, still I will follow. Though none go with me, still I will follow. No turning back. No turning back. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back. No turning back. The cross before me, the world behind me. The cross before me, the world behind me. The cross before me, the world behind me. No turning back. No turning back. Though none go with me, still I will follow. Though none go with me, still I will follow. Though none go with me, still I will follow. No turning back. No turning back. Before me, the world behind me. The cross before me, the world behind me. The cross before me, the world behind me. No turning back, no turning back. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back, no turning back, no turning back, no turning back. Where he leads me, I will follow. Where he leads me, I will follow. Where he leads me, I will follow. I'll go with him all the way. Oh. with Him, with Him
all
all the way.
Now, if you will, sing it loud. Where He leads me, I will follow. Where He leads me, I will follow. Where He leads me, I will follow. I'll go with
Him,
with
with Him
all
all the way.
Will you? Will you? Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. That's right.
Amen. Yeah. Somebody give the Lord a shout tonight. Man. Man. You heard two fantastic words tonight. Amen. Fantastic. Follow Him, and what's next? What's next? Well, I'll tell you what's next. You're going to be dismissed in about 3 seconds. We love you. God bless you. We'll see you Sunday.